right, we are going to be working on our notes about quadrilaterals today. So the prefix quad, anytime you see that QUAD at the beginning, quad is 4, stands for 4. So a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles. So we've got this quadrilateral here to the left, and we've got different sides, right? We could start at Z, and we say that we have, actually, let's see, W. Let's start at W. We'll go in the alphabetical order. We could go from W to X. So we have side WX, that line main side. We have side XY. We have side YZ. And we have side ZW. And it doesn't matter the order you go in. And then we also have angles. So to show that we're dealing with an angle, we use this little angle symbol, angle X, angle Y, angle Z, and it looks like I missed angle W at the beginning. So those are your 4 angles. And then as we talked about in a previous video, so a quadrilateral here is made up of 2 triangles, and each triangle is 180 degrees, 180 degrees. And so if you add 180 and 180, a quadrilateral's interior angle should always add up to 360 degrees. So if we were to add the measure of angle W plus the measure of angle X plus the measure of angle Y plus the measure of angle Z, if we were to add those 4 angles together, they will equal 360 degrees. For a quadrilateral, they will always add up to that 360 degree mark. So we are going to use that logic to find some missing angle measures down here. And the important thing to keep in mind is you want to double check and make sure that this is a quadrilateral that we're dealing with. Make sure it's got 4 sides, because a triangle adds up to 180 degrees, a quadrilateral adds up to 360. The number of sides that a shape has dictates the degrees that it adds up to. And so for problems 1 through 6 that I can see on my screen right now, I'm glancing them over. These are all 4-sided figures. So we are good to use that 360 degree mark. So for problem number 1 right here, I'm going to start with 360 degrees. I'm going to subtract my 95 degree angle, my 72 degree angle, and my 137 degree angle. And when I do that, I get that I have 56 degrees left over for angle X right here. That I noticed when we were working with triangles is that what a lot of you guys like to do is, instead of just like doing subtraction over and over, a lot of students were adding up all of the angles we did know and then subtracting that from 360. So I'm going to go ahead and model that in example 3 here. So this right angle is 90 degrees. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add 90 plus 55 plus 143. And I am getting that these 3 angles added together are all 288 degrees. So what you can do is then say, okay, a quadrilateral adds up to 360. If I minus the 288 from it, I get that there are 72 degrees left over for angle X right here. So that was a preferred way I noticed most students solving those. So for number 5 right here, I'm going to add 41 plus 73 plus 107. And I'm getting 221. So I'm going to take 360 and subtract 221. And I'm getting that there are 139 degrees left over for X. What I would like you guys to do is go ahead and pause the video right now. Take a look at numbers 2, 4, and 6. Probably give yourselves about 3 minutes, and once the classes finish up, you can press play and hear my explanation for these 3. All right, so for number 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 62 plus 49 plus 110. I'm getting 221. When I subtract 360 minus 221, I am getting 139 degrees. That one sounds awfully similar to the last one I did. Let me just double check. Yeah, they both added up to 221. 360 minus 221 is 139 degrees for X here. Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at number 4. So for number 4, I'm going to do just like I did in all my others. I'm going to add 76 plus 89 plus 101, and I am getting 266. I'm going to take 360, and I'm going to subtract that 266, and I'm getting 94 degrees left over for my X. And then for number 6, I'm going to add 90 for a right angle, plus 90 for another right angle, plus 117. I'm getting 297. 360 minus 297 leaves me with 63 degrees left over for my X value here. All right, and then last but not least, let's go ahead and jump down to our bottom section here. So we're going to be focusing on question number 7. And question number 7 is going to have us kind of compile on a bunch of the different rules that we have learned so far. So the first thing that I'm noticing about number 7 is that these two shapes are connected to each other. And right where they are connected to each other, we have formed some vertical angles. We learned a few weeks ago that anytime we have these vertical angles here that form this V, vertical angles are congruent. So we can say that the measure of angle 2 is 97 degrees. So now that I know that, I am going to specifically focus in on this quadrilateral down here. And notice I emphasized the prefix quad because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 angles. So since it has 4 angles, I know mentally this adds up to 360 degrees. So what I am going to do is just like I was doing above, I'm going to add 61 plus 97 plus 90. I am getting 248. And so since this one is a quadrilateral, I'm going to do 360 minus 248. Angle 1 here is 112 degrees. So the measure of angle 1, I'm going to put 112 degrees. And then finally, I'm going to take a look at my triangle. And notice now we are switching over to dealing with a triangle, which a triangle's angles should only add up to 180 degrees. So you do have to use some critical thinking here. You can't always get stuck in that quadrilateral 360. You've got to remember a triangle is only 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 97 plus 58. And I'm getting 155. So I'm going to do 180 minus 155. And I know that I have 25 degrees left over here for my measure of angle 3. All right, and then we are actually not going to take a look at number 8 together. So that is it for our notes for this section.